Hello everyone. Today I would like to share my own personal 5 tips how I look after my teeth on a raw food diet. I wrote it down so I don't forget anything. Tip number 1 is I always use a straw for juice and smoothie. And in the morning when I drink warm water with lemon, I use a straw and make sure it is quite far back so it doesn't touch my teeth. Tip number 2 is after eating citrus fruit like orange, grapefruit, pineapple, mango, I know it's not citrus but it is high acidic, pear, apple cider vinegar, I do not brush my teeth. What I do is I rinse my mouth with water but do not brush. I will come later and explain why. Tip number 3, after eating sweet fruit or dried fruit like dates, dried figs, raisins, honey, even banana, if I can, I quickly brush my teeth without toothpaste, just with toothbrush and water. And if I cannot brush my teeth, I would rinse my mouth with water or floss if I have something stuck or whatever. That's tip number 3. Tip number 4, I try to keep fruit meals between 2 or 3 a day. So I eat bigger amounts of fruit and then maximum 3 times a day, because the pH level drops quite low by eating fruit. I explain that later as well. And tip number 5, and I think that's not even worth mentioning it, but before you go to bed, make sure you brush properly and use floss every night if you can. I use electric toothbrush. I use the Sonicare. I've been using it for about the last 15 years, 10-15 years. I use sometimes the Oral-B brown electric toothbrush, and sometimes I do brush with a manual toothbrush. Yeah, that's the 5 tips. Now I want to explain very quickly why not brush when I eat acidic fruit and why I brush when eating sweet fruit. When we eat citrus fruit, for example, citrus fruit is alkaline in the body, but it is not alkaline in the mouth. So in the mouth, the citrus fruit is acidic, no matter what other people say. I know some people say it is not, but it is. And that means the pH level drops from 7, and an orange brings it down to about 3.75. Now we need to give the enamel time to recover again, and it takes about 40 minutes to 60 minutes for the saliva to bring the enamel back to healthy state where it was before. The enamel can handle that about 3 times. I personally think 3 times a day it should be fine, because that's why they are teeth and we should use them and we should eat fruit. So, and I have been eating lots of fruit for the last 22 years. So all my decay in my teeth, I have lots of fillings. So everything was repaired when I was 16, and for the last 22 years or 23 years I did not have any problems. And my enamel is still there, so must be doing something right to keep the enamel. If we eat sweet fruit, that means when I eat a date there is no acid yet, so I eat the fruit, and if I don't brush, then the bacteria will start the acidic process, the chemical process to produce acid. That means if I eat a date and there is something left, and dates and figs, they do stick to the teeth, that means the bacteria will produce the acid. And again, after that I have 40 minutes to 60 minutes acid, low pH level in my mouth. That is where the enamel is very weak and gets weak. Some people eat about 10 apples all over the whole day, so 1 apple an hour. That is fatal for your teeth, because once the pH level drops below around 3 or 4, dentists call it, you get 40 minutes decay. So if you have 40 to 60 minutes decay every hour because you just had an apple and then after an hour you had another apple, that means you have 10 hours of decay. 10 hours the enamel cannot recover. The saliva is supposed to be there to remineralize the enamel and to put it back and fix it again. So if the enamel has 3 hours of acid in the mouth, it can cope with it, but it cannot cope with 10 hours, because then the enamel will be so weak, there will be no time to recover, and then at some point it will be so weak, break in, and then that's how decay will develop. If we are not very careful how we deal with the acid in citrus fruit, the enamel can dissolve, and at some point it will disappear. Although enamel is the strongest substance in the body and even stronger than bones. This is funny because I didn't believe that either, but I worked for 20 years as a dental nurse. I qualified in Germany, and when we learned that at college, I couldn't believe that. I thought, how can enamel be stronger than bone? But it is. And nevertheless, people lose their enamel by drinking too much fizzy drinks and too much, especially the orange juice in the shops. So the processed orange juice, very, very acidic and very aggressive for the teeth. Yeah, so I think I've said everything. Maybe one little thing below the enamel is another layer called dentin. Probably lots of you know this anyway. And dentin is usually a bit more yellowish in color, a bit darker. That means the enamel is protecting the tooth from being sensitive. If the enamel is gone, the dentin will be exposed, and then the tooth will be sensitive. If the sensitivity is too strong, and then the nerve gets irritated, and if the irritation happens over a longer period of time, it can get inflamed, and that means sometimes the tooth needs root canal treatment, and if the root canal treatment is not successful, the tooth needs to come out. So best is to keep the enamel there, so you don't even have that risk of having an inflamed nerve, which is no fun. I've had root canal treatment. It's not painful, but yeah, I know some raw food people think teeth can be grown, enamel can grow back. I don't know, so I don't know that. In 20 years I have never seen that. Dentists I worked with, they never said it's possible, but maybe it is possible. I don't know myself. So this is it. This were the 5 tips. I hope I could explain it a little bit so it makes sense. If you have any question, I would like to help. Just leave a comment below. If I know the answer, I will reply. If I don't know, then I will say I don't know. Yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you soon. Bye bye.